Okay guys, so again, we're all back here at I Cook She Drinks. Today what I'm going to do is a beautiful lamb. Now, I always say beautiful or it's good or it's awesome, but really, lamb is a beautiful meat. A lot of people underestimate the flavor of lamb. They think, oh, it's going to be greasy and fatty and gamey. If you get yourself a nice rack of lamb and it's a spring lamb or a younger lamb, it's not as gamey. So what I'm going to do here is take our New Zealand spring lamb. I'm going to basically put it on the barbecue, grill it. I'm going to make a demi-glace sauce here with some rosemary. I'm going to toss up some spuds and some asparagus. So basically, we're going to get the asparagus, the spuds, rosemary, and lamb all on one plate, and it's going to blow your mind because the flavor's going to be that good. Follow us. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our rosemary. We're going to put it in the pan. Okay? Pan's nice and hot. We're going to add some olive oil. And when I add the olive oil to the pan, the big thing about that is I want to make sure that this here is going to cook that rosemary out a little bit. It's going to bring all the oils out of it in the pan, and it's going to heat up. When you hear that noise, when you hear that sound, that's all the oil going through the rosemary. It's infusing the oil as well. So once I get to a certain doneness, and I mean, you want to make sure you don't overcook your herbs or burn them. Just keep them at a nice heat. If you look in here, you can see this is fresh rosemary. If you're using dry rosemary, the big problem with dry rosemary is you're not going to get the same flavor, and it can burn really quickly. I prefer not to use dry rosemary or dry goods, but sometimes you have to. All right, so that flavor's there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my ladle, and for those of you who can't make their own demi-glace sauce, that's fine. I mix them in my own demi-glace with some packaged demi-glace. I know some people think it's a fail, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So I'm going to take some of that here. I'm going to take the demi-glace, and this here is a 1 ounce dollop. I'm going to put it in there. There's 1, 2, you can see that cooking out. I'm going to add my port to that. And you should smell that real quick. Can you guys smell that? Can you smell the port and the demi-glace?
Oh yeah.
And add a little bit more just to thicken it up. That rosemary is going to infuse into that. I'm going to reduce the heat. Come over here, grab my seasoning, my salt, put it in here. And again, my demi-glace shouldn't be really salty. If it's too salty, then, you know, if you make your demi-glace that's too salty, you want to pull it out with a little bit more wine, and don't add any more seasoning to it. I'll let this sauce sit here. All right, so I've got the half rack of lamb out here, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it on the grill. The grill's nice and hot. I have it seasoned to salt and pepper. I'm going to make sure I cook it to a nice medium rare, and then what I'll do is I'll add my sauce after, of course. So let's go ahead and put it on the grill. Come and take a look at this. I love lamb, and you know, make sure it's cleaned properly, get all the unnecessary fat off of it. Just here, okay? Put it down. All right, we'll come back out, we'll flip it, we'll stand it up, we'll roll it back over, and we'll check on it when we get medium rare. Okay, now that the lamb is on, I got the lamb on the barbecue. I'm going to take these potatoes, I'm going to put them in my hot pan over here. A little bit of olive oil. You can put butter in there if you want, just keep the temperature really low. And you know what, I am going to throw the asparagus in at the same time. Now, these baby potatoes were already par cooked, so just partially cooked, almost 3/4 of the way through. I want to finish them in the pan and give them a nice brown color on the outside. What I'm going to do to season these, I'm going to just keep it simple, just salt and pepper. And I have a little bit of garlic salt from Seattle. It's a habanero infused garlic salt. I'm going to toss that in there. You don't want to put too much because it's a bit hot. And there's some regular pepper. And I'll put there's a touch of regular salt in there, not much. So I'm gonna let that sit, brown on the outside, finish cooking all the way through. Make sure when you guys are cooking potatoes, they're not so hard that you can't bite through them. And make sure that you don't overcook them so as soon as you touch them, they mash apart in your hands. Those are called mashed potatoes. These here are just toasted potatoes, sauteed with asparagus. And you know what? Sometimes on a plate, for me, I like to have a nice green with some potatoes and just the meat. I don't need a lot of vegetables. The lamb is really filling. So get ready, we're gonna go to the plate and we're gonna place it up. Okay, so I got the rack of lamb off the barbecue. I have the demi-glace and port wine and rosemary sauce done. And I've got my sauteed potatoes, baby potatoes, and asparagus. I'm gonna go to the plate. Let's follow me over here to the cutting board. All right. Let's fix it up a bit.
Like Jenga.
It's very much like Jenga. Now, what you can do is you can put butter on these, make your own mixed type of butter. Me, I like them just salted, no butter. The potatoes are nice and toasty. So the good thing about having toasty potatoes is what? They're gonna be nice and crunchy. Biggest thing about this is, if you have too much salt in the potatoes, it's gonna ruin the flavor of the whole dish. Just keep it simple, and as we get the lamb. So I actually have the lamb over here. I cut this on the edge of the cutting board. Look at that. Look at that. Oh man, this is perfect. Stacked it up there in the middle. Lots of lamb pieces. There we are. Now, we'll put the sauce. You know what? Huh? Hey, extra. It's a little bit sloppy on the outside. That's all right. We'll clean it up. Oh yeah, get that on there. Hold on. That's it. What do you guys think? Try that lamb out.
You start.
You start?
No, you start. I don't like lamb.
Oh my God. You know what? Just pick it up by the bone and stick it in your mouth. Don't need those forks. Use a fork for the potato, but get into that meat. There you go.
There, get this.
Rub it in the sauce. Have some of that asparagus.
Oh.
Oh, I can eat a potato. You guys,
You like that?
Oh. Dave,
Okay, Stephanie, you try it.
melt in your mouth.
The lamb should be really good. It should be really tender. Amanda, try a piece of that lamb. It's just like steak.
no problem.
Try it.
What is that? There's
It's
so
lamb. Try
much
it.
meat. There's just so much meat.
Oh my God. You always have meat in your mouth. Put that in your mouth.
When she drinks?
Yeah, when she drinks.
For someone who likes lamb, which isn't me, I'm sure that's really good.
You don't like it? I assumed this. But you know what? I'm going to make her a lamb pizza tomorrow. No.
The sauce,
Yeah, the sauce
with that lamb,
Yeah.
is just delicious.
Yeah.
Those-
So delicious.
Those
What do you think of the
potatoes
asparagus?
are
Has anybody
phenomenal.
tried the asparagus yet?
No, I don't know. Stephanie is going to have it.
It should be nice and crunchy, lightly salted. You good?
Yeah?
Awesome. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. We'll finish up the lamb. And you know what? Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of I Cook, She Drinks. On to the next, and we'll see you next week.
This name really stood out to me. I thought, what a great wine for a little girls' night. It's called Foreskins. Now, get your head out of the gutter, ladies and gentlemen, because this is about grapes.